Another year, another battlefield, thanks to the hard work of Digital Illusions, the recent acquisition of publishing powerhouse Electronic Arts. We've stormed Normandy, got involved in a Vietnam conflict, and experienced modern combat. But what could war possibly be like in the future? Well, Battlefield 2142 is here to show us. There's no shame in acknowledging one's past, and in that way, 2142 lives up to its pedigree, despite running on a modified version of the Battlefield 2 engine. The core of the game is still rightfully unchanged, with full armies engaged in combat across massive maps. There are 10 unique areas split between the two warring factions' continents, Africa and Europe, taking you from frozen tundra to dusty Saharan desert. And the maps are repeated in various permutations depending on the mode selected. Achievements in the game are split into two camps. In-game points will reward you with field upgrades that will become temporarily unlocked as you play each match. The more you play as a squad, the faster you get the upgrades, but when the match ends, they're gone. Just like in Battlefield 2, as you accumulate points with a particular class, you can permanently unlock upgrades for your favorite armament, or new weapons altogether. This time it's further complicated by the fact that you can choose two different paths for each class to travel down. In fact, complicated is a pretty good way to describe Battlefield 2142. If you haven't played prior games in the series, know that there's a steep learning curve ahead. The most futuristic addition to the series is the new Titan mode. Limited to 48 players, 5 of the Conquest maps are recycled into an aggressive game of home base. 2 colossal airships hang in the sky. These are the Mk1 Titans, a fancy name for floating HQs. And each side has to whittle down the energy shield protecting the Titans. And whittle you will if you try using your normal weapons. The quicker way to victory is to capture missile silos that you can then use to fire at these hovering citadels. Once the enemy shields are obliterated, get your troops up to the ships via rocket pods or flying vehicles and get ready for close-quartered combat. It's then that the game gets pretty claustrophobic as you and your squad delve deep behind enemy lines and attempt to blow up the enemy Titan's core, sending it crashing to the ground. You can even try to escape the endgame explosion for a few extra points, but this seems to be impossible. Also, the 64-player Conquest mode is back, where soldiers fight for domination of the map, and it's just as fun as ever. With fewer classes and one sterling new mode, Battlefield 2142's design may outwardly seem like a disappointment. But the more you play, the more you realize just how intelligent the upgrade system is, even if it complicates an already intricate game. If you played the previous editions, it's easy to get into 2142. Though the game is set half a century into the future, you'll still be right at home firing machine guns or rocket launchers and dropping mines in strategic places. Depending on more than just hand-eye coordination, a certain class can almost always trump another, turning battles into sophisticated rock-paper-scissors tournaments, and a display of frenzied tactics when you factor in a 32-on-32 pile-on. Pickup games can be frustrating, but with a good clan on your side and a voice chat server, soon you'll find yourself transforming into a large death-dealing battalion. Regardless of your skill, death is a constant, but it's also a good teacher, showing you chinks in the enemy's armor to be exploited after a quick repack and respawn. The vehicles are all futuristic, but still grounded in reality, with the Titan being about as sci-fi as the series will go, though hovercraft and mechs are thrown in for good measure. A new boost option for the buggy doesn't really change the landscape of the battlefield all that much. The new weaponry may have a different feel than the older versions, but at the end of the day, a machine gun is still a machine gun. The class-specific unlockables get more interesting with optical camouflage and EMP grenades, while a team's commander can actually deploy both reconnaissance and combative droids. The most charming addition is also the most low-tech. The humbling BJ-2 combat knife allows one to backstab an enemy and take their dog tags as a permanent trophy. For a game set in the future, you'll be surprised at how combat in 2142 is not that much different than in 1942. The smaller maps and reduced player count help make it a tighter experience, but it can take a while to get up to speed. While not matching the revolution that 1942 brought, the addition of Titan mode makes Battlefield 2142 feel like more than another year, another title. But it's cutting it close. For some, Titans, mechs, EMP grenades, and dog tags won't be enough to warrant a purchase. But those jonesing for a new war to fight will fall in love all over again.